And welcome to the NXT review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Lord Hamflett from WhatCulture, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of NXT. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Do you collision? Pay-per-views,
all the crumbs and the chocolates.
premium live interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review last night's NXT. What a bloody show this was!
Yeah, it was actually. It was eventful. It was one of the first times I have truly, just pure heart rule, welcomed the inclusion of TNA into NXT's world, and I did not think this of all weeks would
Come into my world.
Won't you lift me up, May? It's
you
happening. Yeah, it would have been in April too, because she's doing the final leg of her American tour before she comes to the UK, and mine and Phil's big post-Vegas American adventure took in a town that she's actually playing. But we're in
Kylie, this is, by the way, for
Kylie
anyone.
But we're in Seattle on different days, and I didn't want to change the whole trip in order to see somebody that I'm going to see live literally 2 or 3 weeks later, so it's absolutely fine. Do you know why me and Phil are deciding to tour a few American and Canadian cities basically back end of April into early May?
Why is that?
Because we're already going to be in America.
Yes. I'm aware.
Ask me. Oh, I was going to say, ask me.
Where are you going to?
You didn't know that.
You didn't. I didn't know that.
Correct.
You're in Las Vegas.
Well, I haven't told you yet, but yes, we are in Las Vegas because Wilbourn. So is WWE for NXT Stand and Deliver.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
For WrestleMania Night 1.
Oh my God.
For WrestleMania Night 2.
Oh my God.
And for the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yay!
Big events, hot tickets, pricey tickets.
Money.
And they're not the only events that they're there for. They're there for the go-home edition of SmackDown. And so are we. April the 18th at the HyperX Arena. He's looking for buttons, but I'm just going to talk through it all the same. We're going to be doing the biggest and best SmackDown watch-along in all of Las Vegas. It's going to be the centerpiece, aka the middle, of the biggest live show we have ever done. There's going to be all this sort of nonsense. Us, those buttons, not Sidgwick, but microphone might make an appearance. But we're going to be doing our live show that we've done at this point all over the world as part of our world tour. But if you've seen us before in Philadelphia or in London or in Cardiff or anywhere of the previous live shows, we're going to be in the biggest one ever at the HyperX Arena stage.
Attention, please.
Then we're going to do a live watch-along of SmackDown altogether. There are limited, Phil has told me, VIP tickets left. They're going to give you the best seats in the house, the best view of the big screen at the HyperX Arena, and access to a slightly quieter bar, we imagine. And we're going to be there, stationed in that VIP area for the SmackDown watch-along portion of the night. Then it's back onto the stage for Simon Miller's ups and downs of that SmackDown that you can be a part of on YouTube, followed by a WrestleMania 41 preview podcast. We're us doing our silly sausage stuff.
These nuts.
And that. And then what happens in WhatCulture Live stays in WhatCulture Live, which I mean the HyperX bar area of the Luxor Hotel and Casino, where we will be enjoying the night into the wee hours. WhatCulture.com/tickets. It is the capper of our WhatCulture World Tour. If WWE is in town, so are we. And that includes dates in Manchester, Belfast, Glasgow, and London. All tickets, all information, all prices, all merch, all discounts on merch are available at WhatCulture.com/tickets. We cannot wait to see you there.
One of the only professional wrestling podcasts that's actually worth a
That's what you can pay to see.
And now we're actually going to do the podcast bit of the podcast.
So you were saying, sorry, how much you enjoyed TNA coming into NXT's world.
Did they lift me up? Yes. Where are you going now?
I'm just going back to...
Oh, I thought you'd immediately thought of something else. No. You were just like, and it should tell you that I value my words less than whatever button you're going to press. You should know that at this point. It was just like, I don't know, it felt like simultaneously like a bit of a freewheeling episode where like anything goes. My word, you're booking some big matches for Roadblock.
Yeah.
Like right now, what are you doing?
You do know you've got a WrestleMania show after this, don't you?
What are you doing? And then it makes you then think, well, then if that's what you're doing for Roadblock, what are you doing for Stand and Deliver? Oi, oi, oi. But then obviously they've got this theatre in MSG to consider ticket sales for. So I kind of get it. It's never felt more ingratiated with TNA than it does right now, to the extent where, well, I nearly thought belts plural, but it turns out there's maybe a bit of a mistake in one of the announcements. But at least one set of belts will be on the line, TNA ones, at this show. And an act that, with some frustration, I have to admit, weren't the worst. That was the bar they had to clear.
Yeah.
And they, let's just say...
They're class, they've got it.
Let's just say he hobbled over that bar because...
Brilliant. Where was this a few years ago, eh?
I really need Sidgwick to talk you down from this.
But I just love seeing the Hardy Boys, and it's great to see a proper wrestling show in the Andrew J. Brady Music Center in Cincinnati.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
He's doing this. I just want to put something out here to the people that maybe watch all of our coverage and maybe are coming to this before the Dynamite preview, which I do recommend. He's having a bit of fun at AEW's expense, but don't think it doesn't cut both ways, because presumably in an effort to mock NXT, on the Dynamite preview, you called it the Andrew J. Nudie Center.
I did.
Because this is the sex-obsessed brand.
Yeah.
We've talked about the sex division.
Indeed.
It's now a part of NXT. So yeah, it's the Andrew J. Nudie Center when NXT run it. Everybody goes, no good.
I just loved this show. Beginning to end, I had so much fun with it. Like, some of the matches I went in with a lot lower expectations, but I was just so pleasantly surprised by all of this. Some stuff I had big expectations for, and they delivered. Other stuff, I just, goddamn love NXT, mate. It's the best. It's the best.
I've been struck. Your hair, you've got lovely, you're very lucky.
I
with your
need
hair.
a haircut. I'm aware of this.
Well,
I'm
hang
getting
on.
one tomorrow.
I don't like it when I start a conversation full of compliments and you just turn it into, like, being negative about yourself. Show the same love to yourself that you would to your loved ones and friends. Like, be nice to yourself. You're a great guy. And your hair, I'm, like, envious of your hair. Not just because it looks like nice and thick and it's still coming through well, and I've always had pretty fine and slightly greasy hair. We're all in our 30s and I haven't gone bald yet, but like I do think one day it will just thin to a point where it just stops growing through. Yours, on the other hand, doesn't feel like you've got that problem, unless you're using some very clever obscuring tricks, I don't know. But you've got one of them haircuts or follicle abilities where it just seems like however it falls well. So like even if it's like, I've been through the wind or whatever, it's like, Wilbourn's done it Messi style today. And like when it's nice, it's just like, it looks really neat. Sometimes it goes more up, sometimes it's a bit more swept. And they all work. They all work. And the one you've gone with today, it's dead weird. It's like coming off the back of the AEW Dynamite preview, that again, recommended. Like, it's almost like it's all sort of gone flat.
That's it.
I think you get away with it. I don't say these things. It's gone wacky and that looks good too. I legitimately am jealous of that. But every hairstyle works. But yeah, when we started recording there, I couldn't really concentrate because I was like, my word, he's really embracing this like slightly flat hair swept over. Like, the wind blows it up.
Yeah.
It was as if like the wind was like blowing it down or something.
You look at me thinking, you're having a giraffe with that haircut? Is that what you're thinking?
They all work. Are you in Haircut City Jones right now? Is it like...
I've wanted one for about 3 weeks and just never got around to it.
You don't go to a barber that takes bookings, do you?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah. It's the brilliant Mr. Tilly's across the river in Newcastle. But I have my barber. Yeah, I have my barber. But I also have to clear the time with the missus, not just be like, I'm going to get my hair cut. See you in a bit. And... I was just like, oh, bollocks, I really do need to get a haircut, and then just never got around to it. And now we're in this situation.
Is this
Shout out to Aaron.
Long for you would consider?
Oh, way too long.
I've not noticed this till today, but it is like there's a lot on there at the moment. But you're wearing it very well. Could you at this point?
I will tell you this, I hate people touching my head so much that I wash my hair in the sink at WhatCulture before I go and get my hair cut. I don't like someone washing my hair for me.
Oh,
if I could go home, I would. I'd just wash it at home, obviously. But sometimes, because it's easier to go straight from the office into town, I'll wash it in the sink at WhatCulture.
When you say washing it, is that to wash the product out?
Yeah, just to get the whatever gel or whatever it is in there.
How are you in general with barbers touching your hair, even though they're touching it with clippers and scissors?
I'm fine with that,
yeah,
because they're a person doing their job, but I don't like people washing my hair. I don't like people slapping me on the head. Not that my barber does that.
Not into head massage or anything like that.
I don't mind head massage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially if it leads to like happy ending or something, then all the better for it.
Anti-cranium, mate.
Yeah.
We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
I don't like massage of any kind, can I just tell you?
Really?
I'm glad we're finally having this conversation. I've been waiting.
I don't
for
like a
this for several
sports massage, but if it's from Sweden, I would love it.
I had one like physio adjacent massage once and it hurt like a motherfucker. But it was good. Like my calves have this thing where like they don't look this gorgeous like without there being the sacrifice, mate. And like every now and then, like it was when I was more at my athletic best, shall we say. I got all right calves. The muscles would like roll slightly. You know, when you see Triple H's quad fall off the bone, my version of that is like my calves go up a bit. Like they don't anymore. They're just tired calves. But they would, and so once like this bit of physio fixed it, and it was, oh God, that feels good. But the initial thing was like so scary. I haven't needed it since, fortunately. But
Got a nice one after the Great North Run.
Did you?
Yeah.
I don't like
we
it.
did it.
I don't feel good. I feel it falls under that category of like.
But we got in that tent. It was the thank you to the prostate cancer charity who put us up in that tent, and we had loads of like sweets and biscuits and stuff.
It's great that charities.
We were allowed, like people were encouraging us. If anything.
Yeah, it's great that charities do that. I love that. But my thing is just like.
That's why the only reason why I do Great North Run.
I don't. It's just massage. Get your hands off us. I don't like. I wouldn't want to go at the Andrew J. Nudie Centre because I don't really care for other people's nudity, semi or otherwise. Semi-nude, not anything else. I don't like beach holidays. I don't like situations where you have to be, quote, by the pool because it's like, I don't, other people's bodies freak me out, man. Like, I don't like shared hot tub experiences with anyone that aren't my immediate family. Like, I don't include my parents in that. I mean, my wife and my kids. Like, I don't like people's skin.
If I got us a penthouse suite with the old, would you not join us in the old tub in Vegas?
I don't think I would. Like, I would be present at the place. I would like.
Why don't you come in the bath with me? Just to get yourself used to it.
Get in the bath with me. What? Fully nude. Fully nude. Our feet are going to be tickling each other's sides. The bath is not big.
Shot at the tap end.
The bath is not big. Why don't you get a bigger bath for this experiment? I asked for the smallest bath. Do you remember the Carlton Palmer advert? I asked for that bath. Get in the bath here. I could get in the bath here. I don't wish to get in the bath here. I asked for a shower room. Sit on the shower tray. Sit on the floor of a square shower block together at a camping holiday, outdoors. A brick shower block. We're going to sit next to each other, fully nude. And it's going to make you okay with getting in a hot tub in your swimming shorts because of this penthouse that I've magically now arranged.
I'm going to give you a massage, right?
in the brick shower cube, fully nude. I'm going to massage your shoulders because I want to make you feel more comfortable. Makes sense? Does to me. Let's get going.
Let's get going with the NXT review.
Brian, that is not a Photoshop challenge. You don't deserve that. You don't.
The show opened with we had many title matches on this show, didn't we? North American title, though, is Stephanie Vaquer versus Carmen Petrovic, flanked, of course, by Adonisly, her beau for life, Ashanti. Vaquer obviously dominates early, just once again showcasing that she's miles better than loads of the NXT women. But Ashanti was there, saving her from a meteor in the corner, and Petrovic dived through the ropes with a flying crossbody onto the floor to take us to a break. When we come back, Vaquer fights back and gives us the old leg scissors, head slam into the mat.
Is it better or worse that this this whole bit has become sentient? Like, is it better or worse that Booker T now knows that he's kind of performing for an audience rather than just getting caught out gooning? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what's better or worse, because now he'll do it and he'll just throw himself into it knowing that it's going to get like isolated and like everyone's going to have a bit of fun with it. So it's gone from like, oh yeah, oh wow, oh gee, and now he's like going, me. And then like you'll just say Corey or Vic go like, get that man a cigarette. Like, like at what point does the bit kind of eat itself and she's just like 7, 8, 9 I've come
I've come.
Like Booker and Vaquer, Corey and Vaquer, like, we can't, there's no innuendo to that book. That's spunking, that's the end. I've come, I've climaxed, orgasm, city. Like, what?
Yeah, we all enjoy it. Vaquer this time does hit the double knees in the corner, gets a cover on Carmen. But Carmen fights back. She dodged a charge in the corner and kicked Vaquer in the head. There's a handstand runner off the top and a spinning kick to the head for a near fall. But then it feels like, okay, Vaquer's got it now. DDT, rolls Carmen up for 2. There's a crescent kick to the head. She puts Carmen in the ropes for a 619. And then she comes off the top. Carmen, super kick out of nowhere. Really great 2 count in this. Then there's headbutts between the two of them. Carmen hits a kick, but gets sent into the corner, goes to the back kick. Stephanie Vaquer catches it, flips her off, and hits a brutal-looking dragon screw before hitting her SVB finish for the 1-2-3.
It's not everybody's favourite genre of match, but it's one of mine. I love the babyface, mostly dominant TV title defence. I love it. I think it's such a simple but almost always brilliant use of some television time when you've got a dominant babyface champion and there's somebody that you can throw at them that are going to give them a challenge maybe for one spot in a match or like a very, I don't need like 50-50 sharing of the heat. Stephanie Vaquer had almost all of this and briefly lost control of it because wrestlers are able with one moment or with one spot to just look like they might stand a chance. Stephanie Vaquer just delivers this type of work with a level of confidence that I miss out of a lot of like top wrestlers as well. The way she moves, the way she walks, the way like we've already kind of like put over like facial expressions from the last title defense. There is just some when she beat Fallon Henley, there is just something about her confidence and what she's the energy that she's radiating at the moment that makes her just one of my very favorite people to watch in all of wrestling. And I frankly can't wait for what they were about to say. Like, I can't believe it and can't wait for it.
I can't believe we're getting it so quickly because immediately afterwards, Julia comes out, of course, the NXT Women's Champion, and she congratulates Stephanie Vaquer and says, you say you're the best champion, but you're not. I am. And Vaquer says, I'm the champion of champions. And Julia basically suggests they find out who the best woman is. Vaquer says, look, we're friends, but title for title, champion versus champion. They pose with the titles in the air. And later on in the show, Ava, she hasn't got a surname, she's the Rockstar general manager of NXT, makes it official. Title for title at NXT Roadblock. Beep, beep, get out the bloody road.
He wasn't my car.
Incredible. I am so glad we're going to this now. Not only is it a really cool match to get hyped for, and you sense it could probably headline the MSG theatre show. I am confident. I know it's NXT and I know it's 2025 WWE. I am confident we're going to get a winner.
Me too.
A winner and a loser. Nothing about this stipulation, in spite of the stipulation, made me... I hope I'm not proven wrong and made a fool of in a couple of weeks. Nothing here made me think they're not going to pay this off. There's going to be a better woman. There's going to be a better woman between Julia and Stephanie Vaquer. And what's great, and what used to be great, and still is, but what used to be such a nice device of NXT in the golden era when you didn't know that Vince McMahon was going to screw up all the call-ups one after another, was how like leaving NXT could be this sort of a loser-leave stipulation, could be a fond farewell, it could be anything, because you knew where they were going was where they wanted to be, which was the main roster.
Yeah.
But you loved them enough on NXT that it felt like it meant something. And they've kind of speed run that with Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, because you sense that one of these women is going to win, and maybe there'll be some sort of rematch of some kind at Stand and Deliver. So I've got a better idea. Well, what I think is the idea for something to Stand and Deliver. But I think whoever loses this, straight up.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I sense...
You've got Jordyn Grace if you need someone to fill that slot.
And, it's crazy how we finish each other's sandwiches. Like, I think by setting up Jordyn Grace with Roxanne Perez...
She feels destined for the main roster.
I think it's happening. By having her fight Roxanne Perez here to sort of effectively just prove what we all know is that she's like next in line. She's got next, as I like to say, in NXT for this women's title. I think they're just standard living main event. Winner versus winner. You've got these two big matches, and there you go. You put there, effectively, you say Roxanne Perez is the prodigy, and she's like, no, I'm killing it on Raw, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to dominate down here. I want my title back. Jordyn Grace beats her. That is her. Done, gone. And then the winner, the 2 belts, go up against Jordyn Grace, and maybe Jordyn Grace wins both belts, and then the other person goes up after WrestleMania as well. Like, there is a route where 2 of the 3 that we saw the other week are both on the main roster by the Raw after WrestleMania, and the other one's left holding all the gold in NXT in what they're all saying out loud as often as possible is like the best women's division. It's good booking.
Or they do the thing that we spoke about as well of both belts are on the line. It's a triple threat, and it's like first match is for one title, second match is for the other title, and if you don't win either of them, off to the main roster you go, basically.
There might be something to that, yeah. I really, really hope, because it got pelters then, it still gets pelters now, it would get pelters if they did it again. I desperately hope it isn't just you got to vacate it and have a tournament. Like, I know it can be awkward having people that hold 2 belts. Make them work twice. Make a story out of it. Yeah. Like, do whatever you need to do. Like, I would say Becky Lynch is the example of how they got that right. Charlotte Flair was like really opportunistic in how she took the title off Becky because she
Seth did it, didn't he?
Yes, as a tag and world champion when he was tagging with Braun Strowman of all people,
and US and world champion when he was fighting
against
Sting
John
and Cena
in 2015. You're right. Yeah, they're
was that the white gear?
The one he won it at SummerSlam. Yeah.
Oh my God.
One of the
Vince
best.
hated that.
Yeah, of course he did. God, that should have been the moment, shouldn't it? Like, do not trust him with any creative from here on out. The division isn't always what all the wrestlers say it is, but matches like this and the inclusion of Jordyn Grace and Roxanne Perez still in the mix a little bit is like the best way to sell.
Yeah.
It's everything you're saying it is. Everything you say it is, that is what it is.
Just when you thought the show couldn't get any better as well, after that amazing start, we see Ariana Grace talking with TNA's Santino Marella, slapping themselves on the back quite rightly for this brilliant NXT TNA partnership. And Santino talks about the Hard Boys competing in the NXT for the first time ever.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
But up walks Lola Vice. She just wants to fight with anyone. Doesn't care. NXT, TNA, let's go. And Grace says, well, we aren't taking walk-up meetings, but we'll take it under consideration. And Lola says, you're a better pageant. I hope you're a better pageant queen than a liar. And Ariana takes a bit of offense to this. And Lola suggests Miss NXT versus Miss MMA, unless no one in your family taught you how to fight. Santino's head snaps around, and understandably, with Lola Vice, he has to contain his cobra.
But what, because it's his deadly finisher?
Yeah. I'm the same.
I'm glad you explained that to me, thank you. Otherwise, like, anything else you might have been saying might have sailed over my head. I got something for you on this one.
Go on.
Well, I've been watching NXT, watching like a hawk, and you've been keeping things down on your end, so together we've got this covered. I've been watching NXT like a hawk, right? And I've been trying to pick some things up. And a little bit of me thinks that, you know, Charlie Dempsey?
Yeah.
I don't know who yet, so you're going to have to leave this with me a little bit longer.
Okay.
Just some of the stuff people have been saying, I reckon, like, one of the coaches at the Performance Center or somebody involved within the kind of like the setup in NXT and WWE, I reckon like one of them might be his dad. I've been on the WWE corporate page. Nobody's got a surname Dempsey, so I can't figure it out yet. But I'm working on it. And the way that Lola Vice mentioned about like fighting skills off your dad, like, did you notice that like Santino looked like personally aggrieved by that?
That's what got his cobra all het up.
I think you get what I'm saying. Is he Charlie Dempsey's dad? Have I think you might crack the case?
I've got another one.
Put that one out there, guys.
Good, I've got another one for you to be working on. This code I've been working on for bloody years. X plus 1, 2, I think it was.
Yeah.
And 9, J, or whatever. Leave it with you.
Okay. I'll work that one. I'll have to put on my thinking cap, which looks remarkably like Jim Ross's hat.
Bobby Lashley.
Stone Cold, cracked cold.
428.
Randy Orton.
Right. Lexis King is walking backstage. He runs into Oberfemi. Yo! He says everyone wants to see Ober versus Moose. But they're in his home city, of course. And the only match people are going to be talking about after tonight is the Ruler versus the King. And before we get to that, this mystery foursome. I've been doing some nice photos on social media.
They suck. Already they suck.
Good photos.
Yeah, lovely.
Social media presence.
That's it. Dad, do you want to get that set up first? As they tell you on The Apprentice, you're starting a business, you want to get your social media presence strong. This is rubbish already, man. Like, very little else to add. The viewers, if they're watching NXT or they're simply watching us, the stable exists to be the latest. Wilbourn's right to reference Retribution, but they're probably looking for something more akin to an Nexus, and it's nowhere even close, pal. Like, so far, so bad.
I loved their interference at the TV PLE, basically.
Yeah, that was what allowed you to
Is-
believe it
yeah.
might be Nexus level. The rest has been, like, listless, impotent.
Ava's acting was good at the end of last week's show. Right, then it was time for former WCPW star and current TNA X Division champion Moose versus Lexis King.
Oh, sorry, there was something else I wanted to say. You know, on Raw, when Punk and Logan Paul had their face-off, and it was like sort of, there was like this weird, odd chemistry about them that you're a bit like, that's, I mean, I'll look at it, but is that WrestleMania match? It couldn't be, could it? Couldn't. I got a little bit of that with Obafemi and Lexis King. Did you as well?
Yeah,
like,
he's
they're not going to stand in love with that, like, King and Rule. Like, I mean, Lexis King has come on, but come on.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have huge expectations because of the pessimism that you two put out around this. But I really enjoyed this match. I thought Moose looked incredible. It's been a while since I've seen him in action. And he did the obvious stuff early on, like chucking Lexis King all over the place and chopping him. But then there was a bit where King fought back, went up top, and then Moose just drop-kicked him from the top rope to the outside to take us to a break. When we come back, King fought back. He hit Hurricane Rana for a near fall, does a flip dive. But then Moose runs up the turnbuckle midway through just a back and forth exchange with Lexis King, springboards into a flying crossbody, then powerbombs Lexis King. I thought the match was done there, but no, he only gets a 2 count from it. He charges in again, gets caught with a super kick, and hit with a coronation for a really good 2 count there as well. Lexis King tried for another one, but Moose countered with a backdrop and then speared Lexis King out of his shoes for the 1-2-3. Post-match, Obafemi, who comes out and says, now you've made it past Lexis, we can focus on what matters, and that is us, because that's what everyone wants. Let's make this match official at Roadblock. Get out of the bloody road. Mike, yeah. In Madison Square Garden, 2 weeks. Title for title.
Which did that wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we should cover that quickly. If you've watched this and you've waited for our review, you might be buzzing to know what we think about what's going to happen when either another title for title match, like the women, there's going to be a double champion. No, there's not. They just got this wrong.
It's the NXT Championship.
It's just the NXT Championship, so Obafemi will presumably...
You've defended the X Division here, and therefore...
Yeah.
But regardless of that, I thought Moose looked great here.
Hey, man, I would honestly, down the line, run this back so we can indeed make the X Division the Sex Division and give Lexis King the belt and have a decider or something. Moose can't pretend to have watched Moose in ages or necessarily been paying attention to whatever story might be telling in TNA about being the X Division champion, but adding X Division elements to his offense. If that's the gimmick, if that's the crack, he's very good at it.
Yeah.
It's not always psychologically the soundest, but it works here. Lexis King's improvements, though relatively small, are visible. He is getting a little bit better, is Lexis King. He's always been reasonable at stooging around, but sometimes he would just even his in-ring positioning just felt a little bit off, and his timing wasn't always great, and he just seemed to have chemistry issues. Everybody worked until you were at the point where I was like, it's you're the problem, it's you. And I don't really feel it as much anymore. I think he's starting to fit in on this show. I've just grown accustomed to his face in all of its beardy glory.
Yeah.
But I thought Lexis King, two wrestlers that I don't really like, did something I did.
Yeah.
Fair play to them.
That Moose Obafemi match is going to kick ass as well.
Well, it's beneficial that he is doing the X Division stuff because that's ultimately they'll do the power game Like, you're strong. Well, I'm just as strong. Well, you can do this. Well, I can do this. And then Moose's best chance is going to come when he kind of like surprises Obafemi with some X Division stuff. And then Obafemi surprises him. He's like, I got a bit of that in me as well. Like the way they escalate, it should be quite good.
We get a vignette on Sean Spears and his family. Calls NXT the land of the talented, the future, but misguided. And each person he talks about has this thing where it's like, here's what they used to be like. And now look what I've transformed them into. And it worked well with like Brooks Jensen. He's had like bedraggled and all a bit all over the place. And now he's sort of clean cut, very defined. Nico Vance, he said he's guided Brooks into exactly what he's been searching for all along. Nico Vance, a beacon of range whose metamorphosis came from within. Right, just changed vests.
What's any of that mean?
Izzy Dame, the embodiment of cunning beauty with every decision calculated. She now wears black trousers. I think that
was the difference. Yeah, she wore black clothes. Yeah. Like her awake.
Now his family is complete. Tony never saw it coming. The only thing he's to do is to take Tony's title next week. Well, it was good while it lasted.
Very much like an inner circle rollout. This was not. Like, he's got them all on. Did you spot there's been a gimmick change for Sean Spears? The chairman is now the stoolman because they're all on stools. So he introduced them one at a time. Obviously, now they've got their name. Is this a thing? Like that's the name flashes up at the bottom. Yeah. I mean, he just can't help himself, can he?
They have to put the title on him. Yeah,
they do. They do. He's going to beat Tony D. The stable doesn't feel like it's going to work already. Maybe, like, you do have to let it play out. They're also forwards, as well as is this thing. But it just feels, yet again, like maybe Sean Spears wanted nothing to do with this because he's a bit of a patter merchant, but they've said, look, can you do this very serious, Derek and weird story? And he's just thrown himself into it.
Yeah.
And like, maybe this is nothing to do with him, but it just sort of feel like these kind of things come up a lot where he just says stuff and it's like, what was it, the Derek and beacon of all hope? And say, what are you on about, mate?
Yeah.
Like, is this a thing? That's why that's what this stable still feels like.
We need to put it on a heel so Ricky Saints can beat them at Stand and Deliver.
Probably, yeah. Aye. Fine. Don't like it. There's two as well. There's two of them now because there's and there's Dion Lennox's Retribution lot kicking around. It's like, ooh, NXT's a scary place. Nobody seems arsed about either group.
I think Tony D should fight for the world title at Stand and Deliver. Yeah.
I mean, if he was to lose the North American, and
every cloud.
I cannot call this Obafemi title match, can you? Because they pivoted quite aggressively with somebody on this show.
Yes, that's what I thought. I suddenly thought, there's a chance here.
Just trying to slot any way to slot him back in. Yeah.
The betrayal's coming, but the family seems all right again.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Just do that. Yeah, go on. Anyway, speaking of stirring up trouble, Ariana Grace was just winding up Jada Parker as she was chatting. She was like chatting to Kalani Jordyn on the bus, but going, what's the deal with that bloody Jada Parker, Kalani? What you saying? Huh? Yeah, they're having a fight next week.
Yeah, fine.
Then, holla, if you hear me, Jordyn Grace comes down to the ring. Looks great, obviously. She's a fantastic addition to this roster. She says the moment she stepped foot in a WWE ring last year, she knew where she belonged. She came in as an outsider carrying the weight of a company on her back, of course. But after spending time in the locker room and feeling the hunger, she knew she had to be a part of it. Didn't hesitate. She had one thought, one singular goal, become a champion in what she truly believes is the best women's division in the world.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
It is like he recorded it for us and sent us it in like a wonderful, like the best soundproof studio in the world. Bobby Fish sat down, laid down like 6 versions of it.
Yeah.
Sent us all 6. And then what you did was take every single one of them and like used your like brilliant broadcast and engineering skills to pull the best reads of each word.
Isolate
together,
silence, yeah.
Into one thing that makes it sound like he's just spoken a complete sentence. And that's what came out.
She says the last time she was standing here was between 2 women who were like nothing she's seen before. But she knows that Julia and Stephanie felt the shift and the foundation's beginning to crack. She heard what they had to say earlier, but it's only a matter of time when she's standing here, not next to them, but across the ring from them. A juggernaut is unstoppable, and it's time. But before she can go any further, she's interrupted by Roxanne Perez, who welcomes Jordyn back and says She knew she'd eventually be here in NXT because NXT is the place to be. Everyone wants to be in the division that she made famous. She's been doing it for months. Jordyn was a big fish in a small pond, but this is her division, and Jordyn doesn't get to call the shots. Jordyn's like, this is your division. Where's your title? And she's like, oh, the title you couldn't beat me for at Battleground. Sorry, the title you couldn't beat me for at NXT Battleground. You're grounded! Battlegrounded? Thanks, Mike. Oh, it's weird with that one, isn't it? Bollocks.
Sorry. Like I was highly entertained by that performance, Wilbourn. Grab the hat, please, because you're gonna have to. You are referring not just to any Battleground. It was Jordyn Grace versus Roxanne Perez. It was the one in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Was it?
At the UFC Apex. So you're going to have to do it all over again with the Vegas ending, please. From the top. Thank you.
You mean the title you couldn't beat me for at NXT Battleground? You're grounded! Battlegrounded! Mom! You're a winner. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you.
She talks about
doing this now, eh?
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fresh.
it is.
Oh, good. Kids are wearing it.
If you're going to do that, right, you can.
Yeah.
I can't change the camera.
She's going to send Jordyn packing back to TNA. Oh, that is cool. How you bollocks?
Just a couple of cream eggs.
There's a gap between them. She's going to go on to Elimination Chamber. She's going to win, go on to WrestleMania, win the world title, and then maybe even come back and win the NXT Women's Championship to become Roxy 2 belts. But Grace fired back brilliantly here. She said, there's a famous saying, everyone has a plan until, and she punches Roxanne Perez and sends her out of the ring. And obviously this is going to set up another match between the two of them.
Let's wrap on this, guys.
Hey.
I like this. I didn't love it. But Jordyn Grace has got to do these things.
Yes.
Now she's here for real. She had the benefit of being a special guest from TNA, and everything she did was novelty, and the matches kicked ass because obviously she's been ready for this kind of stage for a long, long time. But now that she's actually here for keeps.
Now she's gracing us with her presence.
This guy. You've got to do the... Freeze frame. Did he just do a rhyme in a wrestling podcast? What next? Jokes? She's got to do the establishing of her character in NXT. She's got to show deference to the division while already proclaiming herself to be the best in it. They're not the easiest squares to circle or whatever that phrase is. So I thought this was decent without being amazing because it all feels a little bit formula, a little bit forced. But Roxanne Perez beat her. And that's a real benefit because the first thing she gets to do is avenge that loss in another match that should be very good. And as we've talked about, the potential double champion awaits. Maybe right now.
Oh, that match is going to be class. Yeah. No cap. Is that right way to say it? I don't know what the kids say nowadays.
Sometimes people just reply with the cap.
No cap. No cap. Is no cap good?
I don't know if they're happy with my tweet when they put the cap in the emoji.
Is no cap good? Cap. No cap is considered a good thing. It means no lie or for real. So,
can you Google if sitting backwards on a chair makes you cool?
Okay. Is sitting backwards on a chair cool in 2025?
Okay. Because these things come back around, don't they?
Try. Is this cool or not?
Is this cool?
Cool or not? Let's try cool or not wheel.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll just ask the wheel then.
Okay, ask the wheel, yeah. Do you get spinner wheel?
We've got a yes or no wheel. That's the best I'll have to do. Okay, so wheel. Is sitting backwards on a chair cool in 2025?
Oh, it's cool.
Shut up.
No, that's the Yes music.
Yes.
That's Daniel Bryan's old music. Well, that means I now need to like hold my microphone like this. I just one of them kind of cool podcasters. Welcome to the Cool Cast.
Holding that microphone cool.
I mean, you don't need to spin the wheel. I think we all know that this is pretty cool.
Ooh,
Well, would you believe it? It's yes. I guess it's fine. We'll keep reviewing this podcast. I'm just going to go exercising. I'll do reps while you recap.
Trick Williams is backstage, checking his phone. People are all slagging him off for losing to Eddie Thorpe. And he's like, oh, piss off. Javon comes in, and he's lovely. And he's like, hey, tough loss, blah, blah, blah. I get what you're going through. God, he says.
I was like, Trick Williams' new character is off. Like, what was his beef? What was his problem?
Hey, man, just want to check you're all right. I've never been there as well. You off, Javon. Smash your teeth in.
We've changed the theme. Go off. Go off. All right. Go off. Yeah. V off.
So, Javon's like, is everything all right, mate? He's like, I'll take care of you as well.
Very, very unreasonable.
Ricky Saints comes in. He's like, all right, nice to meet you. I'm Ricky Saints. I don't know who you are, you dickhead. Same people.
Yeah. Sorry, I was speaking to the mic. I'm professional. Really weird. And it was hard not to think that they're getting Trick Williams out of Obafemi's way with this.
Yes.
It suits you. I can see why.
Can I shock you? I like Trick Williams' heel turn. Yeah.
I guess we'll see where this goes, but Trick the Bastard was an odd old time, wasn't it? I don't know. We'll see.
Willie the Wanker. I tried to... Did you have this problem with the Jada Parker promo? I tried to watch it. She's trying to cut a promo. It's just after an ad break, and it kept cutting back to "We'll be right back" on Netflix.
Tootala Sweet and all that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I love? I didn't recognize. I don't remember it from this. Maybe it did.
Here's Jada Parker. She's great.
Can always spin on. I love this. The often it's with the exteriors, but you know how like at the moment they're promoting so for the Madison Square Garden Theatre, it's just the MSG, beautiful aerial shot of MSG. But for whatever reason, maybe because tickets aren't available to international viewers, I don't know. Clearly in America, the information is coming up on the screen, but we don't have it on the Netflix version. I love it when it's like in the arena and you're just watching the ring and there's like disco music.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening for us.
I love those bits.
Yeah.
That's some of my favorite bits. Yeah.
There's a Mystery 4 post. They posted a video that they're in the arena now.
Oh no.
The board ticket, guys.
Can you imagine them right, come on, let's go. Like the first person behind this door, we're going to give them a piece of my mind and kick their ass. Boot the door up and it's Trick Williams. Off, lads. Can't be asked.
Anyway.
Trick Williams is having his Kevin the Teenager period.
Don't want you. Grumpy Trick.
Carmelo Hayes comes back as Perry's gone to Manchester because he's been to the main roster.
Yeah.
Andrade teaches you how to be stupid.
I'm real. Anyway.
I think Sami Zayn's like that with Kevin Owens' mum.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Owens. Oh. Before they have full sex in a revenge.
They go large. Love that film. It's a class one.
I didn't. I love the Kevin and Perry characters. The film was a step too far for me.
Belter.
Did you watch that and be like, got to get me there?
Yeah.
Did you have it?
No, I didn't. I abhor the looks.
I was gonna you've done Lads Holiday. We've discussed this before, but
we an alternative.
I went a lot of years. We're all in our 30s now, but I went a lot of my 20s dealing with elements of regret about never doing a Lads Holiday. And then I watched the In-Betweeners movie and I'd never felt so happy that I didn't.
Yeah.
Because literally from the plane bit and then the bus, so the holiday hasn't really started. And I would just be, I can't be around those. I almost can't.
I like watching those.
Scene.
I like watching those Sun, Sex and Suspicious Parents holidays.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to go on one. We'd go to I don't know, Riga or somewhere like that. And it would never be a summer holiday really. I think We went to Croatia once.
Right.
That was loads
That's
of
a
fun.
bit of a fancy damn place,
Yeah,
Croatia, isn't it?
it was good fun, that. We did Thailand one year,
Going there this year with the family.
but we never would have done like Malia or Beetha or whatever.
Beef. It intimidated me when I was younger, and then I kind of got old enough to think, I should have just taken the chance, and then I see, like, this cuts both ways, by the way. I know people that love...
We'll go on one. Why don't we go to Kavos?
Did you ever watch the Sky programs like Ibiza Uncovered or
I
Carlos
like
Uncovered? And it was
Club 18 to 30 on ITV.
It was like those shows are always like, here's so-and-so's got to get up early because he's working a shift in the bar. Meanwhile, so-and-so's like, we're setting things up for the day shift and da-da-da. And then by night, it's all about drinking and clubbing and shagging. And basically you're only watching, oh, bit tit. Like,
Yes.
oh, there's a man's arse, like sort of because he's passed out on the beach or whatever. That's basically what you tuned in for. Everything I've said about skin that I don't like about us sharing a bath and a sensual massage, like that.
Yes.
That TV show exists to get as much of that skin on screen as possible. Yeah, like some people going to the Sky cameras, like holding like Apple VKs. I am mum.
It wasn't the Apple VK's fault. They don't need to blame Apple. VKs
Oh no,
for
it's
that.
the exclusive drink of Chesterfield,
Do need to cut this off.
Chesterfield-based music festival.
Teenager from a festival still.
There you go, Brian. If you don't wish to do our sensual massage session, what you could do is somehow this is hurting my shoulders rather than my balls.
Oh, I forgot you were still sat there.
It's actually, maybe it's because I was doing so many reps and I'm getting
Yeah,
jacked
yeah,
with this
clanging
microphone
and
stand.
banging over there.
If you want to do Chesterfield, the Chesterfield themed music festival, and you want to do it as a poster, you are very welcome.
Don't know what bands have come from Chesterfield. We just nick them from Sheffield. But that's basically the same.
Bands or like a festival poster, but instead of music acts, just some of the things off the Jay Frazier 2024 poster and review.
Chester the Field Mouse
Yeah.
in concert.
Live on the Radio 1 stage. Brum.
Right, it was time for the Hardy Boys. Bama, 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 bama. So bloody good to see them back.
They're just so young, they probably sit in the chairs like this.
Yeah. And they were taking on...
Matt Hardy, that, innit? Version 1, Wilbourn.
yeah.
In a shocker, this was decent.
This was class.
Yeah.
I always said they were going to be. They were taking on the no quarter catch crew, Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne. Funny chant at Miles Bourne as well during this. You're not Randy.
Did you
Great
hear
though. I like him.
the commentary line from Vic?
No.
Teachable moment!
The Hardy Boys pop is so loud, even Miles Bourne heard it. And like,
Is that all right?
Corey and Booker were like, Vic, man, Jesus Christ. And he's going, what? I'm just saying what I see. And they cut to the ring and like you see Ren Sinclair and Miles Bourne being like, Jesus Christ, it's the Hardys. They're just losing their mind. They're
Okay.
doing the dance like Ren Sinclair's like that. Charlie Dempsey, who again, I have my suspicions Santino's kid, is like, I can't do that. And she's like, oh. It's a very nice sort of execution of the fact they're in the ring with, whether they want to admit it or not, kind of like heroes of theirs. It's
There was
nice
a bit with Nathan Fraser a little bit later, and you could just tell he was giddy as out being there with it, which was lovely. But yeah, Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne hold their own and take over on the Legends early on. But at one point, they go for a dive in the corner. Matt moves. Jeff tags in and hits a poetry in motion. Miles gets sent to the ramp by Matt, and then Matt goes out after him. They fight out there, and he drops to his knees, and there's a poetry in motion by Jeff to send Miles Bourne back into the ring. I think he got busted open a little bit, which made it look even better here. But Miles hits a power slam to stop Jeff's momentum and take us to break. When we come back, during the break, out comes the NXT Tag Team Champions, that being, of course, Axiom. And Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
And that allowed, distracting the Hardys, allowed the NQCC to take over. But Matt finally fights out of it, hits a jawbreaker. Jeff dives onto Tavian on the outside, gets the hot tag, lays into Miles, hits like a leg drop, an elbow drop, cover for two. Tavian Height comes in, but Jeff hits a whisper in the wind off the top. But the NQCC fight back. Miles helps Tavian hit an elevated DDT, but Matt breaks it up. Miles picks up Jeff, but Matt makes the blind tag, lays out Miles. Tavian gets him, but gets sent to the outside. There's a twist of fate, a tag, swanton, 1, 2, 3. The Hardy Boys defend their TNA tag team titles.
Good to see the old full-bodied swanton back in WWE, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This was fine. Like, the action wasn't anything to write home about, but the energy was so palpable throughout that it elevated all of it. I imagine the NQCC must have just been like, would have really learned something from this, because everything that everybody was doing generated a reaction, and that's not something they get all the time because they're not always in there with like bona fide legends that the audience are clearly thrilled to see. So yeah, this was extremely effective in presenting a nostalgia pop that also didn't necessarily like outstay its welcome once the nostalgia wore off. Like once you got into the actual body of the match, you were thinking, right, yeah, I've enjoyed the music and but like I'm now being reminded that like it's Matt Hardy on my screen.
Yeah.
It didn't outstay its welcome long enough for you to start thinking that, which was kind of an achievement.
Yeah. And then, post-match, in steps Fraxium. They get welcomed to NXT by the NXT Tag Champs. Matt appreciates that, says he loves NXT so far. Has been nearly 15 years since he's been on this show, let's not forget. Yeah. Says Fraxium are killing it. Nathan Fraser, is just super excited and says, look, we're the greatest tag team in the world today, but we're standing face-to-face with the greatest tag team of all time. And Jeff's like, hey, man, spare small talk. This is big talk right here. Fraxium versus the Hardys. Let's do it, man. And then he's interrupted by, with his WWE music, Santino Marella. The crowd lose their minds again.
A huge pop for the music, wasn't it?
And he says, I've been talking in the back with Ava, and we have an announcement to make. Fraxium versus the Hard Boys for the TNA World Tag Team titles at Roadblock. Get out the bloody road. Where's the button? I can't find it. Get out the bloody road.
He wasn't my car.
In the big crapple. NYC.
Well, is the Hard Boys funny to you because it's like they're baby faces, but the way that he gets it wrong, it's like they're really tough and mean and nasty. Is that why
that's what I thought he was referring to?
You were laughing at. The TNA belts are on the line.
What's happening there then?
Well, that's worrying, isn't it? Because
Fraxium are finally going to lose.
Well, yeah, and the Hardy's going to win, set up a rematch where it's like all the belts, all or nothing, whatever, stand and deliver, oi, and then the real tension is this going to be the night Fraxium breakup, but instead they win. They clarify their status as the best tag team in wrestling by winning double gold.
I think, looking at this, right, I agree. I think Julia versus Stephanie should have a definitive outcome. I think they should all have definitive outcomes. Obafemi beats Moose, obviously. But I think the Hard Boys do beat Fraxium, but not because they're better, but simply because Retribution Tipu get involved, and that's the titles they're going after.
I could see that.
Because they attack them as well. I know people always think of Obafemi.
Or they just like take them all out and it's a schmoz, so you don't get a finish. I'm just thinking how funny, like...
Maybe I do want to see the Hardy Boys. Have I ever seen the Hardy Boys? I must have done.
In this bit of lore, his name is Jeff Hard, which sounds like Jeff Bitch from Phoenix Nights. I'm Jeff Hard, but that's just for the ladies. Have you seen... Has Wilbourn seen the Hardy Boys? Yes, you have. And do you want me to tell you when that was?
I think I should remember this.
You absolutely should. Because you're thinking to yourself, right? I know your brain. We're not too dissimilar in a lot of respects. And you're thinking to yourself, when have I seen the Hardys? They've been kind of like spinning the wheels for a long time. But like, I'd remember like, because the music is the music and then the big pop. Like, so you
see when they played it on the loop at 35.
You want to remember popping to that music, but you started to feel blood coming out of your nose and eyes and ears because you've been hearing it for 7 minutes solid. It's like
it's the Black Big Battle Royal, wasn't it? That had the SNL lads in it.
They enter, and then it cuts to the kickoff panel for an entire conversation. It's like that Family Guy scene where like they've forgotten that Quagmire's like chained up in the dungeon or something, or the basement, and he's watching the infomercial that loops every like 10 seconds. Welcome to the and he's just reciting the words. Bro, oh Jesus!
We go to an Italian restaurant now, where Stax is there with somewhat of the rest of the family. Luca Crucifino and the Riz. And Stacks says,
Don't know what happened last week.
Awful.
I was in control of them. Boom. Spears got the drop on me.
Tony D arrives and tells family sit back down.
Sorry, I hate your performances are like
Awful.
unmatched in their brilliance. But you hit me with something there, and I'm gonna need it. I don't like your Stacks impression. I'm sorry. Can you give me your Stacks impression?
I think to myself, better when they feel.
Can you give me your Stacks impression? Doing Jacob Fatu's and now increasingly Solo Sikoa's catchphrase.
I love you so.
Thank you.
Headache really coming on there.
Yeah.
I banged my head earlier. I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the AW preview.
That's
I'd nip outside to the helipad. Bloody banged my head, didn't I?
Yeah.
Twice.
You're gonna want to check that preview out. Sounds like we did. Hey AEW fans, do you like AEW?
Don, about last week, I'm sorry. I was just trying.
Oh, listen, Stacks, you can't win them all. Look, I appreciate what you did last week, but I had to lay low, get things right. Listen, I was beaming with pride watching you direct the family in my absence. Now, Spears, he's a smart guy, tough guy. That's something I got to handle next week, Stacks says.
Gee, I appreciate that. But should you be doing this in the condition you're in, maybe you should wait.
And Lucas says, Stacks, he isn't done. He's a goal. So it's, Lucas, he's on the board. He gets a say. No, look, I know what he's trying to do, take care of the family, as he should. Stacks, I appreciate what you're saying, but I got to handle this. And Riz, Riz said, don't worry, you guys. Tony's got this. He's losing the title next week.
Could well be. Is this a
Well,
thing?
the family's fine, so that's the most important thing.
The family are united. Is this a thing? Need goal to validate their very existence? Sean Spears especially. The Heat segment was enough to create the stable. The stable have got the match. Are you all right, mate?
Sorry, I've just got a banging headache. You know what? You talk a little bit more about this. Oh, I want to get some. I hope the jungle's got some because I hear the paracetamol. I'll be back. Oh, God.
I don't want to.
Jesus.
I don't want to perpetuate something that's a case that Sidge has been building, but I know something else that gets rid of headaches, and I'm increasingly worried that it's just Wilbourn's latest excuse to duck out of this podcast. I watched this segment. I'll review it briefly. I watched this segment and was made really hungry, as I often am, because I just think the restaurant pasta looks amazing. And it reminded me that tonight, because there was some unfinished business at IKEA the other day, I'll be going back there tonight. And we're not going there for a long time. We're going there for a good time. We know exactly the section in the warehouse, but I'm going to be getting a hot dog when we leave. And that's what that made me think of, and I got excited about the IKEA hot dog.
Yeah, what the hell is everybody?
Hiya, Stacks. How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, things have all been patched up with Tony, and he's going to defend the title. No problem next week, right?
Yeah, that's going to clean up all this mess with Is This a Thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. Goddamn
Sidge is, it's half term.
Oh, you mentioned it yesterday.
Do you remember that? I know
Of course.
sometimes you forget what things are all
Yeah,
about.
no, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
He
And
got the kids. And yeah.
this is it, right? So he's got the kids today. He's missed reviewing Raw and NXT.
What are the
It's
chances?
part of his kids' half term.
What are you got any responsibilities?
Yeah, I've got my half term responsibilities tomorrow, Thursday, so I'm going to miss the Dynamite.
Oh, God damn it. I tell you, sometimes I wish I was you. Gotta say, I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, by the way. There was someone on the goddamn helipad. You hear about this?
Do you know what? I actually did. If you'd have seen Wilbourn, you always miss him on Wednesdays. You'd have found out as well. There was a little situation, but people will have to watch the AEW Dynamite preview. You yourself.
I better check that out on the flight back.
Check that out later on, and maybe a certain explanation will be in play as to why that is. So I apologise for the build-up and the traffic on the helipad. You all right there, Stats?
Yeah, I just see this face pop up on Willie's phone, tagged on Twitter by @WhatCulture WWE. It's absolutely nightmarish. We're going to take a look at that.
Oh, good God. Yeah, that's kind of related, actually.
Oh, who's that guy?
Yeah. I'm going to leave you to watch the AEW Dynamite preview, but fingers crossed next week, the helipad will be a little bit quiet.
You're off tomorrow, as you say. You know what you can celebrate with the kids?
What's that?
National Pokemon Day.
Oh, is that what that is tomorrow?
It is, I don't know what the hell a Pokemon is, but what's the deal with them?
Pokemon stacks is a type of a specific. I don't want to alienate probably quite a big crossover audience between wrestling and Pokemon here, so I want to get the terminology right. It's a type of animation that shares certain like stylistic links with, I believe, the films of Studio Ghibli, so Pigface in the helicopter, and Akira, like an all-time animated action film.
Top 5 for him against Gunther this week, of course.
It's a particular type of animation called silly cartoons. Yes, that's right. Me on a wrestling podcast is throwing some stones from my glass house. No, it's not. Pokemon's a cartoon, but it's. I think it's anime as well. I think it's classed as anime. It's like at this point, like kind of intergenerational classic. Like I believe it came around in the early 90s here in the UK. We got it in the late 90s. I was a little bit too, we're all in our 30s, but I was a little bit too old for the Pokemon craze when it hit over here. But nonetheless, it went huge. It's this story of a boy trying to collect animals in balls, and he's got to catch them all. Now, cynics amongst us might say, did you just create an almost limitless supply of made-up animals in order to sell these to children in a way that they're going to pester their parents to be like, can I have all the Pokemons? No, you can pick one, but I've got to catch them all. And then parents felt obliged and guilted into buying more and more. It's a mammoth merchandising success. And at this point, a success story for animation, Pokemon. And I think the kid is called, like, he's got some sort of, like, it's like Ash Ketchum or something.
Ketchup.
Because his Ketchup.
Ketchum.
Ketchum.
Ash Ketchum.
Because his name, you wouldn't understand this, Stacks, is related to his primary function and job.
Indeed.
And that's the deal with Pokemon.
Well, you know, my missus, she's kind of like Pokemon, because as soon as I throw out my ball, she runs off, huh? 3 questions, 3 jokes for you. Hamflett, what's a Poivoid and a Pokemon-noid got in common?
They both want a Pikachu.
There's a goddamn button for this.
Bingo! We're off.
If you get all 3 when he's not here.
So he'd be absolutely raging. Like, we have a lot of laughs here on the old WhatCulture Wrestling podcast. A lot of laughs, a lot of jokes. Sid's just shoot competitive about stuff. It really means something to him. That's why, like, we'll sometimes be on a tour or something. He'll be like, nah, the rules haven't been quite adhered to. It's got to count for real. It's got to be a right foot, left foot, header, hat trick.
Why did I change all the jokes and the questions and just be like, what country is Pokemon from?
We just
Correct. You got all 3. Ding, 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 bye.
Fuming. And everybody tweeting him like, Sidrick, I forgot the hat trick without you. Don't do that.
No.
This means something to him.
Question joke number 2. What do Pokemon Go and Tinder have in common?
Pokemon Go and Tinder. I'm surprised you know this one because I didn't even think to explain Pokemon Go to you when I was explaining Pokemon. Obviously made a lot of assumptions. Pokemon Go and Tinder. Is it that strange, like I being you, Stacks, deviant, Pokemon Go and Tinder, the rivals don't like it when I point my phone in their direction or something. Because there's like other people that are like wanting to have sex with all the women on Tinder, but you're on there, so it's like, oh god, no, Stacks, we can't compete with Stacks. And likewise, Pokemon Go's this competitive game where you got to swipe your phone or something.
Good night, right?
Is that not it? Did I not nail it?
No, you're gonna kick yourself. What do Pokemon Go and Tinder have in common? Both give you a good chance of catching something.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What, you mean like, because you go on a date with somebody on Tinder and then you take them to a wedding and then you catch the bouquet?
or catch feelings.
Feelings or the bouquet. Those are the things you
Or
can
gonorrhea. One of the big three, probably.
Or any of the three. Bouquets, feelings, or gonorrhea. Those are the
My brick ass and crowbar right there.
outcomes of love on Cartoon Network. Bouquets, feelings, and gonorrhea. So it's three dragons.
Out of your mind, gonorrhea.
Bouquet, the three dragons. Bouquets, feelings, gonorrhea.
Question joke number 3.
Are you out of my freaking dick, gonorrhea? I've never had gonorrhea. I've never had any STIs. Touch wood. Touching wood, am I right? You had any STI stacks?
I plead the fifth. Okay, question joke number 3. Tell your joke to your kids. They'll love it tomorrow. And
Right, okay.
off school and all that.
Yeah. I need something to fill the time.
Final question, final joke for you, Hamflett. If my missus was a Pokemon, what would her name be, huh?
I mean, this is broad because, like, I don't know many Pokemon names, but even if I did, you could just make one up that sounds Pokemon adjacent. Because as I understand it, Pokemon, like, have names that, like, might have something to do with the resemblance because the animals themselves are not real animals, but they have share properties with other animals. So the Squirtle springs to mind. Oh, God. Because of a turtle-based look. Charizard breathes fire, so it chars things, and Zard because it's lizard and it's a bit dinosaur-y. But I'm already out of Pokemon. I can't catch them all. I can catch 3. Not the 3 bouquets, feelings, and gonorrhea. They're not Pokemons. Can I have the setup again, please?
My missus was a Pokemon, what would her name be?
What's on it? All I could... Squirtle.
Good, not right. True, not right. My missus was a Pokemon.
True, that's what... True, not right.
What would her name be? My missus was a Pokemon. What would her name be? My missus was a Pokemon. What would her name be? Bulbasaur. See you later.
Oh, God. I don't know if it's because I was sitting backwards on a chair. My sides are absolutely killing. Oh, friggin' hell. Bye, Stacks.
Oh, bye, Stacks.
Hi, Wilbourn. You all right?
Yeah, I feel a lot better now.
How's that headache?
Oh, it's all gone now.
Not so
Sorted
sore.
exactly what I needed, what I did.
Never mind ibuprofen, ibuprofen, am I right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Case against you's getting bigger, mate.
It's not the only thing.
I mean, it's knob.
It's Chelsea Green show. Is that what you're up to? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
Sorry, yeah, we didn't get any further forward. We
Really? Okay,
family meal.
perfect.
What are you having for tea tonight? I was telling the viewers, you weren't here. I was telling them that we've got to nip back to IKEA. There's this last grasp of a bit of adult freedom before, like, very much in the kids' zone with it being half term. And we did an IKEA trip the night. We've got to pop back and pick something up from the warehouse bit. So we're not there for the whole duration. So we're not going to be going through
Meatballs?
No, that's when you're doing the whole deal. That's what I was when IKEA's charmed you.
Okay.
Basically to the warehouse exit bit because we know exactly where it is. Go through the tills backwards. But then hot dogs, lingonberry fizz. Spat there, sorry. And maybe lingonberry fizz. I might mix it up at the taps. That's my choice.
Yeah.
But
I'm allowed.
I'm allowed. I can do what I want. I'm an adult. If they've got any, one of them friggin' cinnamon rolls from IKEA. I think
Never had one.
Oh, Jesus. Do you like cinnamon?
Yeah.
It is the... Have you ever had a Cinnabon in America?
No.
And they've got them over here now. They're not quite as good over here, but Jesus Christ. Somebody in the comments on YouTube or on X where we talk about American snack food and I get envious and I drool and I can't wait to go to Vegas, especially for April 18th, like Brex Arena. they'll tell us about like Cinnabon. Don't go to Cinnabon. Go to Cinnamon Brothers Local in Massachusetts or something. American are better at cinnamon. The IKEA cinnamon rolls, pretty good.
It's not what we're having for tea tonight.
Right.
Don't know.
Hot dogs and cinnamon buns. 3 hot dogs, probably. I'm just watching.
I might just suggest we go to IKEA.
It's such a great place to eat at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great restaurant, great snack bar. I like you know what I like? You can buy them from the IKEA food shop bit now. I don't love. I would ask for a hot dog without onions. I can eat it. I don't mind it. But do you want to? You're at the B&Q and you're at the food van. Oh, that smells amazing. I'm getting hungry. You want onions on that, love? I'll say no, thank you. Mm-hmm. But if somebody was to give me a hot dog with onions, mustard, ketchup, I send it back or I'll shove it in your face. I'll vomit in front of you.
That's a shame I've dropped it.
Just hot dog and onions, I'll have that. Those, like, dried ones, you know what I'm going to say? They're almost like crisps, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're so dry.
Yeah.
You bite in and you go, it's like, I'll have a hot dog with some ground up brick, please. They're amazing. I love them.
That we found the exception to the rule.
Dried, finely cut and diced onions. I don't know how they make them dry. They're born that way or fried or something. I don't know. As you're biting down on it and as you feel it everywhere in your mouth. The mouthfeel of one of those dried onions is good stuff.
Back to NXT, though, because we're nowhere near the main event yet.
Sorry.
It's all right. I'm not the one who's got to get to IKEA. It's fine.
You're happy to live in the world.
But randomly, Chelsea Green shows up with a brilliant Piper Niven as a head of security checking things beforehand. Piper Niven, by the way, has just got a brilliant addition to her arsenal. Do you see this?
Yeah.
They do the thing with Sol Ruka and Zarya, that odd couple tag team, and basically sets up a match with an argument of Chelsea being like, get them away, just agree to whatever. She can't understand Zarya or whatever. Sets up a tag match for next week. During this, though, Piper Niven's got a taser now, has she? Absolutely employ that from now on going forward.
Sol Ruka has to sell it as well. She's like, told the story before. Friend of mine, university years, taking a in a club. I mean, that's your first mistake, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I don't support that. Do you dumping at home? Do you dumping in the toilet you're comfy with? Do you dump wherever you like? I ain't no dump judge, but I just, no dumping in clubs.
No.
Come on, guys. Anyway, he was taking a dump in a club and somebody kicked the door.
He's always doing drugs.
Clean open, like that. And it wasn't a good person, it was a bad person.
Oh, no.
Kicked the door of the keep open. Zap that motherfucker with a taser and ran. So he was lying on the floor.
Do you reckon he nutted?
Well, I've never thought about this until this moment. If he nutted and at the same time, there's no better place to be.
No, to be fair.
The toilet will be a deposit and then it's followed up by being on the
Everyone
floor.
will see it. Everyone will see it.
Because somebody's got to help you because you've been tasered.
Yeah.
Just all-time a moment. Did you notice as well in this match next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you notice that this segment started with Sol Ruka bandaging Zarya's hand because of incident at the beach? Beach training. Mad Max getting injured at the beach.
Her one weakness.
Good segment.
Sand.
Solid segment.
Then we got, it was Lola Vice versus Ariana Grace. Just mentioning that for anyone who's writing up this match, I don't know, for Wrestling Observer, who may have written the entire thing as Jada Parker versus Ariana Grace.
What?
Yeah. Just wrong.
Come on, guys.
But I did pop for this match because we all knew what was going to happen. Lola Vice kicked her ass and finished with a spinning back fist. But early on, she dodged, because Lola Vice obviously has got a MMA background. She goes to kick beauty pageant queen Ariana Grace, who dodges it and jabs her. And I went, oh, she's got her.
Got with one.
And she did it again. I was like, go on, Ariana. I love Lola Vice. Go on, Ariana. She got red kicked in, basically. Not really much more to say about this, but a fun squash.
Virtual squash, but yeah, with fun elements. She's got a bit of Santino's humour in it. Must be all the hanging out they're doing across the two shows.
I want Ariana Grace and Chelsea Green to form some sort of partnership.
I wouldn't mind that. Let's just say with Ariana Grace, the apple doesn't fall too far from the working relationship.
Apple. I got that reference. The Mystery Four. Is that their actual name now?
It better not be, because that sucks too. Losers.
They've taken out NQCC.
Yeah.
Chaos.
It's so unchaotic.
It's slightly managed chaos now. Whereas previously they were smashing up Ava's office. Now it's just we're targeting.
I think you're right about
I suppose a tag team. Yeah.
I think you're right about his hardest thing. I think that's where that ends up. They end up the signing delivery could be a 4-on-4. Hardest and Fraxton versus the bad guys.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
We get a vignette for Eddie Thorpe, and he's happy to fight Trick Williams again, anytime, any place.
I mean, I'd check with Trick Williams because I feel like he'd hit you with a massive off, not bother. Like
Trick Williams. I don't want to fight anyone anymore. All right, Trick, what's going on, mate? Come on, cheer up. And then this was the bit with Sarah with Ava. She hasn't got her surname. She's Rock's daughter, general manager of NXT. And she sort of just clarifies everything for everyone. It was meant to be officially announcing title for title, Vaquer versus Jordyn, but it was also like, by the way, it's for the NXT Championship, Uber versus Moose. And yeah, Fraxim Hardy's for the TNA tag titles.
Roadblock's looking good.
It's huge stack, that card. And next week, Kalani Jordyn versus Jada Parker, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Zarya and Sol Ruka. Tony D'Angelo probably losing the North American title to Sean Spears, sorry.
Yeah, big one next week.
Main event time, in-ring debut for Ricky Saints teaming with Javon Evans to take on Wesley and Ethan Page. Javon Evans obviously got a great deal of history with Ethan Page. He swings at him to start. Page eventually manages to get away from him and tag in Wesley. Evans goes to the outside after Ethan Page, but that distraction of focusing on the wrong guy allows Wesley to take over. Evans tries for a top rope cutter, but Lee catches him. But Evans hits a big drop kick off the ropes and brings in Ricky Saints. The crowd love him. Crowd are chanting for Ricky. He hits an uppercut, arm drags, atomic drop. He gets slapped, though, by Wesley and is not happy about that. He batters Lee in the corner. Page comes in but gets drop kicked out of the ring by Evans, and then Lee charges and gets thrown out onto Page, and the babyfaces stand tall as we go to a break. When we come back, Page goes for a superplex. He's taken over during the break, but Evans knocks him down with a headbutt. But you obviously have Wesley's boys out there, Tyson DuPont and Tariq Igwe, and DuPont trips up Evans, and Page hits a backbreaker onto the top turnbuckle.
Oh my God.
Javon Evans takes some wild bumps. He falls out to the floor. Page batters him. There was one point where he just yanks him into a power slam for a 2 count. Goes for the ego's edge, but Evans escapes, comes off the ropes with a kick to the head, and finally gets over to the hot tag for Ricky Saints. He cleans house on Page and Lee. There's a tornado DDT on Page, a splash onto Lee, a tilt-a-whirl gutbuster, a spear off the ropes, but Page breaks that up. Evans hits a Superman punch onto Page, dives onto him from the outside, and they fight through the crowd. Saints looks like he's got the match won. But Wesley throws him into the ring post shoulder first. Lee goes up top. Saints dodges, hits a body slam, and takes out the boys Tyson and Tyreek. But in amongst all that, Lee hits a Meteora for a near fall. He knocks down Ricky Saints, grabs him, and tells him he should have never come to NXT. Goes for the cardiac kick. Ricky Saints catches him, stumbles a bit, but still looks impressive because he catches him, powers him up, and hits the Rochambeau for the 1-2-3. I thought Ricky Saints looked great on his debut here.
Yeah, I would classify all of this as textbook, but the good kind.
Yeah.
You kind of knew we talked about this in the preview yesterday. You could kind of tell how the beats of this match were going to go. The Ricky Saints hot tag, potentially hot tags as we got, were both important. Ricky Saints only really took offense where the heels looked opportunistic or were able to take advantage of the environment rather than because they could out wrestle him. So the agent in the presentation was very tight. Like I wouldn't say it was the most exciting match, but it couldn't have achieved any more in this sort of like relatively small building or the small intimate setting of making Ricky Saints, I'll get used to it,
yeah,
already feel like he's like title contender level,
big time,
which was the goal here. Like they've done it with Jordyn Grace as well. It's not a problem, but the issue with signing wrestlers and bringing them to NXT for whatever reason you want to bring them to, whether it's for ratings, whether it's for development, whatever it is, the issue is it is sometimes accidentally a bit too easy to normalize them because they're on a developmental brand.
Yes.
You don't have that issue if it's SmackDown or Raw because the stage itself sells itself. NXT a bit less of that, so you have to actually work at the creative. And Ricky Saints kind of like being almost untouchable when he was in there. The heels couldn't get anything on him. Like, really, really helped establish him as this guy. Oh, Christ, when we tag him in, scream! Like, we're going to get our aces kicked. There was that constant atmosphere, which is great because Javon Evans is this young guy.
He's awesome.
He's like the perfect guy to bounce off a guy like Ricky Sainz. They should be mates. They should want to like team together and beat up the bastards that have been causing them grief, that kind of thing. So the chemistry was right. All that
Look
sort
at the
of stuff
size of Ethan Page, and you've got also DuPont and Igwe out there.
The numbers game, the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's like, I'm dealing with don't worry, I've got this kid. We're going to be all right. We'll do this together. Really, really good stuff. Saints music, like a nice, what initially feels a bit like a tribute act to the AEW one will eventually become the norm because it's like the Saints name itself. These changes, things you get used to. They've been able to factor in like the Brucey thing that he does. So like that's key.
That's what it is. Bruce Forsyth.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's it. Like I would say like an 8.5 out of 10 presentation of Ricky Sainz. Quite honestly, you could deduct a mark for the fact that NXT is unavoidably smaller, and this is a choice they've made. And it is a shame that the Rochambeau wasn't a touch cleaner. You could tell the commentators were immediately on it, weren't they? Oh my God, he's powering up, when it should have really been catch, bang.
Yeah.
So it lost a little something, but even then, as
It
a
wasn't
TV,
a botch, was it?
Nah, as a TV presentation, they made it look like it was like a feat of strength to even get near.
They'll do it again probably when these two face off. And
it wasn't the Javon Evans RKO.
No, we've got nowhere
not
near.
by any means.
No.
So yeah.
Great end to a fantastic show, though. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comments or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Lots to discuss off the back of this show. Watch there. You can follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow our producer at It's Adam Nicholas. You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. Me and Hamflett earlier on today previewing AEW Dynamite, but not alone. Check that one out. And do subscribe, yes, because me and Sige will be back tomorrow to review AEW Dynamite. But for now, this has been the NXT review. My thanks to Michael Hamflett, to Stax. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.